Coming up on Sports Paws, the women's basketball team traveled to Northern Virginia and California for the WBIT tournament.
And Q30's Nick Olsen has an exclusive interview previewing the NCAA men's ice hockey tournament.
And we'll see how softball's doing as they look to have a strong start in MAC play.
All that and more coming up on Sports Paws, starting right now.
Welcome into Studio 125 on this lovely Monday evening. I'm Eli Ehlers.
And I'm Maddie Kelley.
Following Trisha Fabry announcing her retirement at the end of the season, her and the women's basketball team headed south to take on the George Mason Patriots in the first round of the WBIT. The Bobcats looking to get a postseason win following last year's loss at Seton Hall. Into the first quarter, Jackie Grisdale knocks down the corner three, and just after that, she would knock down another one from the wing. She would not be done yet, though. Heading into the second quarter, Ella Ryan to Grisdale. She would knock down yet another corner three. Later on, Ella O'Donnell driving would get the lefty layup for the Bobcats. And the Patriots, though, they would not go away. Kennedy Harris puts up a mid-range jumper and drills it into the second half. Ella Ryan, she would find Carson Martin for the transition easy layup. Bobcats ahead by 10. A little later, George Mason, they would force a turnover. The 2-on-1 fast break leads to some back and forth magic for the easy lay-in. Bobcats lead by 9. 3 minutes later, Harris forces her way into the paint, forces up a floater, and would get it to fall. Moving in to the fourth and final quarter, Anna Foley would find Grisdale, who would be wide open for her fourth three of the game. The Bobcats are up by 7, and their bench would be fired up. 4 minutes later, Zariah Walton drives to the basket, pump fakes, and would get the nifty layup to go. Quinnipiac ahead, 63-59. George Mason continuing to fight back. Harris again hits the fadeaway jumper. It's a one-possession game in the last 3 minutes. 2:15 to go. Anna Foley in the clutch hits the mid-range jumper. Bobcats ahead by 5. The Patriots will go on to play the foul game. Grisdale knocks down 2, and Quinnipiac wins this one 71-64. Grisdale led the team with 21 points. Ryan, O'Donnell, and Martin all in double figures, and the Bobcats would advance to the next round of the tournament.
That's exactly right, Eli. Quinnipiac now taking on Stanford in the second round of the WBIT, and head coach Trisha Fabry looking to keep her season going into the next round of the tournament. In the first quarter, it's junior guard Carson Martin starting off hot for Quinnipiac, knocking down the three-pointer to get the points flowing, and the Bobcats get in front early, 10-9. First quarter still, and how about this Anna Foley? Fantastic all day. Check out these moves. She gets it to the left hand and sinks it. Quinnipiac in front 16-15 after the first. The second quarter is where the game shifts a little. Nunu Aguera right through the heart of the Bobcats defense with ease, and the Cardinal back in the lead with a score of 21-18. Still in the second, last couple minutes of it, but now Martin with a bad pass turns it over backcourt to Chloe Clardy, going up for the lay, getting bounced around. Stanford ends up getting the rebound, and the Cardinal would pull away and go up by 9 into the break. Third quarter now, Foley again making things happen. Dribble, handoff to Jackie Grisdale, and why not? She knocks down a big-time three. Quinnipiac cuts into Stanford's lead even more. Still in the third, Anna Foley responds again. She knocks down the and one. Quinnipiac hanging around, entering the fourth quarter. Big possession for Stanford. Alexandria Eschmeyer has a career day. She gets the bucket down low, lead back up to 10. Quinnipiac's not done yet, though. Who else? Anna Foley again with the wing three. Cats back within 5 in the final minutes. Quinnipiac has Stanford on its toes, but it's Carson Martin's pass again that's picked off by Clardy, finishing the lay. Stanford gets the win 81-69. Eschmeyer with a career day, 18 points and 5 rebounds. Foley was fantastic for QU with 24 points. The Bobcats and Trisha Fabry finished the season 27-7. The conclusion of the Bobcats' run at the WBIT tournament also marked the end of head coach Trisha Fabry's time at Quinnipiac. Brittany Brodenleben has the rest.
After 31 years at Quinnipiac University, head coach Trisha Fabry has coached her last game as a Bobcat.
It doesn't feel real. Honestly, it feels like there's going to be another day, another practice.
Fabry explained how she wants to be remembered as a head coach.
Well, I would think that I'm always going to be a Bobcat, because once a Bobcat, always a Bobcat. And I would like to think that she was a damn good coach who won a lot of games, but more importantly, I think what I saw was just, which was a bit overwhelming, really how much you do impact these young ladies day to day.
Stanford's women's head basketball coach Kate Fay explained her appreciation for Coach Fabry and what she's done for women's college basketball.
Bittersweet that this was her last game, and an honor for us to be participate in that. We are very appreciative for everything that she has done for women's basketball. What an incredible career.
Coach Fabry, being the exciting coach she is, has fun one-liners in many moments with the girls. Anna Foley talks about how these moments come from her caring so much about the team.
It's not the shot, it's the offensive rebound.
That's a good one.
She has so many lines. Like, it's even hard to sort out. But
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable how well-spoken she is. And she says it herself, her favorite time is the locker room. And just, it's poetic. Like, we were in D.C., it's like she's our Lincoln, she's given the address. Like, it's unbelievable how much she believes and just is so passionate. Like, just can articulate how much she cares about us, cares about the game, and it's hard to even pick out a line.
Even though Coach Fabry is retiring, she will still always be around to help her Bobcats. Reporting from Maple Pavilions, for one last time as women's basketball beat reporter, I'm Brittany Brown-Leben for Q30 Sports.
Thanks, Brittany. One women's ice hockey staff member is leaving Hamden to represent the Stars and Stripes. Assistant coach Brent Hill announced his departure from Quinnipiac to take on the role as the U.S. women's national team head scout for USA Hockey. Hill finished his sixth season with the Bobcats, leading the power play and forwards, and is no stranger to USA Hockey. He coached the U18 women's national team at the 2015 IIHF Women's World Championships and earned a gold medal with the national team at the 2026 Olympic Games. More from the women's ice hockey team and their accolades is forward Kaylin LaMarche. The junior forward was named as an ACHA second-team All-American on Saturday. LaMarche led the nation with 42 goals during the 2025-26 season and broke the Quinnipiac program records for both goals and points in a single season. She was also named as a top 10 Patty Kazmaier finalist, finishing 7th in the NCAA in total points.
Switching to the men's side of the rink, although they didn't take the trip to Lake Placid for the ECAC Hockey Championships, they still had some individual hardware added to the trophy case. Sophomore Elliott Groenewold took home the Best Defensive Defenseman award. He led the conference with a plus 27 rating in ECAC play. His overall plus 38 rating also led the entire NCAA while setting a new Division I Bobcat record. He also tacked on 13 points in conference play. On the other side of the puck, Ethan Wittenbach came away with the ECAC Hockey Rookie of the Year award. The Roslyn, New York native took the nation by storm, leading the NCAA in points with 58. In ECAC play, he recorded 36 points, good for second in the conference. The Bobcats forward set a new record for the most points by a first year, passing Brian Herbert, who recorded 54 points in the 1999-2000 season. With conference tournaments now officially over, the NCAA men's ice hockey bracket is official. The Bobcats will be taking the flight to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to take on the Providence Friars on Thursday. The Bobcats fell to the Friars 2-1 in an exhibition match at the start of the year. North Dakota is the 2 seed in the tournament and will be taking on Merrimack, who is fresh off a Hockey East tournament win. Taking a look at the other ECAC teams in the Big Dance, the Dartmouth Big Green, who claimed the Whitelaw Cup for the first time ever, will now take on Wisconsin. And Cornell will be in Loveland, Colorado to take on the host team in the Denver Pioneers. The Bobcats are now headed to their 7th straight NCAA tournament. Q30's Nick Olsen had the chance to catch up with sophomore defenseman Elliott Groenewold to see where he and the team are at as they gear up for South Dakota.
Welcome inside to my NCAA preview ahead of Quinnipiac's matchup against the Providence Friars. I'm joined alongside with sophomore defenseman Elliott Groenewold. Elliott, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. We've had a good couple weeks of practice here, and we're really gearing up for the big tournament.
So you guys got Providence game 1. What is one thing that your team does so well in playoff hockey?
Yeah, I think it's just sticking to our details and our identity. Just being really hard to play against, playing really fast, and kind of overwhelming teams with our speed and the pace of our play.
Coming into the game, you'll have had 11 days off. How are you guys going to make sure you kind of shake off the layoff?
Yeah, I mean, for us, I think we practice so hard and we practice with a lot of pace that there really shouldn't be any period that we're slow at all. I think we're going to be really, really good out of the gate, and hopefully for the whole game.
Now, what is one thing you could take out of your series against Clarkson in the ECAC quarterfinals and kind of apply it to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think as a team and personally, we learned a lot about our team, and we got to be ready to go. And playoff hockey is physical, and we got to be ready for that, and we got to give it as well. So I think that's a big part of it. But yeah, we'll be ready to go.
The NCAA tournament, it moves quick, right? It's just game by game. How are you guys going to make sure you kind of stay in the moment and not look too far ahead?
Yeah, it's definitely tough to do because there's a lot going on and stuff, and like you said, things happen very quickly. But like you said, just staying in the moment, staying grounded, just take it shift by shift, game by game. So.
You were on the squad last year for last year's regional loss against UConn. What's something that you learned from that game that you can apply to this year? And also what's something about the team that they may have learned that could apply to this year?
Yeah, I think just overall, just having that experience of being there, knowing what it's like to be in an NCAA tournament game, is super helpful. It's a different venue, we're going to all different places, so I think that was really helpful, and as a returner now, maybe I can help some of the younger guys and show them what it's like a little bit.
Now, what's one thing you want people back at home to know about your team heading into the tournament?
Yeah, I think we have a real good shot at winning it. We got a lot of skill, and we're a very detailed team, and I think that we can beat anyone on any given day.
Thank you, Elliott, for joining me ahead of your trip to South Dakota. But when Sports Paws returns, Maddie and Eli will recap the acrobatics and tumbling team's matchup against the Long Island University Sharks on the team's Alumni Day. They will also recap the softball team's home opening weekend against the Niagara Purple Eagles, looking to continue their solid start to MAC play. Don't go anywhere. Sports Paws will be right back after this commercial break.
Do you enjoy Quinnipiac sports?
I just keep believing you're going to pick Paige Girardi over Carson Martin. I think
Floor general, absolute glue guy on the court.
Then Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you.
'Twas the night of Bobcat Breakdown, and all through the suite, all the producers were running round, getting ready for show of the week.
I brought mittens because I think that half of this take is cold.
I think us Anthonys think alike because I have the exact same idea as you.
Tune in to Bobcat Breakdown every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. on Q30TV.com/watch.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I spend with them, it doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
Gracie and Pedro might not get along so well.
They're standing on my tail.
But there's one thing they agree on. There's a right seat for everyone.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Whether you're a dog,
Hold on, Pooch.
a cat, a fish, or a rat.
And I'm a ferret.
Be sure to travel safe.
How can you be so sure?
I'm absolutely positive.
On your next adventure, make sure your children are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The acrobatics and tumbling team returned to Hamden for the first time since early February. It is Alumni Day for the Bobcats as they take on the Long Island University Sharks. Over 100 acrobatics and tumbling alumni showed out to support their former teammates. Right into the action with the compulsory event, the Bobcats tops Genesis Carson and Catherine Coker dismount in sync to a perfect score, nearly with 9.75.
In the first acro heat, LIU top Ariana Ardea shows off her strength. The Sharks earn 9.55 points off her effort as the meet moves into the pyramid event.
More impressive feats for the Sharks in this pyramid. Ardea once again displays her skill as a top as she is safely caught by her teammates.
Shortly after, the Bobcats also shown in the pyramid event. A clean dismount here scores the Bobcats a near perfect 9.95 points.
Skipping ahead to tumbling, Quinnipiac's Emily St. Ange flies high in the aerial heat and sticks the landing to score Quinnipiac 9.775 points.
LIU's Christina DiVincenzo with a chance to respond later in the event. She can't stick a strong landing, but she scores 8.75 points for her Sharks.
It's the final event of the meet, and Quinnipiac starts off strong. They show off their coordination and strength to close out the meet. The Bobcats celebrate as they achieve their best team score this season, scoring 94.83 points and securing their win.
This is the first time this season the Bobcats have eclipsed the 270-point mark as they beat the Sharks by almost 45 points.
The team honored alumni as acrobatics and tumbling is now officially a championship sport. Q30's Katie Vlukovic has more.
What you saw was a line of over 100 alumni that came from near and far that built the sport for women, by women, for generations to come. And they cared enough to support our current teammates, and my team kids cared enough about them to put out the best of themselves.
January 16th, 2026 was the day that the NCAA recognized acrobatics and tumbling as its 93rd championship sport. And on Sunday, the Quinnipiac acrobatics and tumbling team celebrated that accomplishment with a full house of alumni.
The event showed decades of work that the coaches, players, and support staff have put in for the program and the sport. Assistant coach Tiffany Ziba reflects on her hard work both as an athlete and as a coach and how much effort has gone into the growth of the program.
I think it's something that I worked for myself and all those young women on the floor that worked for themselves. So I think it's exactly what we deserved, and I think it was a lot of fighting and a lot of sweat that is now recognized.
As acrobatics and tumbling continues to grow across the country, former Quinnipiac base and incoming head coach for the Manhattan Jaspers, Hallie Fowler, gives high praise about Marion Powers on creating the foundation of the sport.
Yeah, I think it's really special to not only be an athlete in an emerging program, but also have these next generation of athletes be considered full-fledged NCAA athletes. And that's a huge testament to Marion Powers as well. I mean, she started the sport with 4 other women from scratch. And you saw with 75 plus alumni here, it wasn't just those 5 women, it was thousands and thousands that have poured their heart and soul into this. And next Sunday, they will be celebrating their soon-to-be alumni as they hold Senior Day festivities here at M&T Bank Arena against the Iona Gales. For Q30 Sports, I'm Katie Vlukovic.
Thanks, Katie. Switching to the turf, the women's lacrosse team opened up MAC play at home on Saturday. The Bobcats taking on the Niagara Purple Eagles, a team the Bobcats have historically struggled against. Jumping into the third quarter after a back-and-forth first half, the score is 7-6 in favor of Quinnipiac, but Michaela Dellis spins around a defender and ties up the game. Quinnipiac not going down easy, though. Mia Delmon cuts right through the defense and gives Quinnipiac the lead back in this one. Quinnipiac ahead 10-7 into the fourth. Julia Givens starts the quarter with her second straight goal. Quinnipiac's lead now up to 4.
Great goal scored there.
But that lead would eventually disappear. Niagara tied the game up with another Dellis goal. She had 5 goals in the game, and it would now be 12-12. All the momentum on Niagara's side, and Ashley Blanding takes full advantage, getting to the middle, beating Alden. Niagara gets its first lead since the second quarter. Bobcats with their backs against the wall trying to get something going in the final minute. Kate Bendowski gets it to the middle to Emma Miller-Ayala, and she ties this one up with 53 seconds to go. This one would need overtime, and into the second overtime period right off the draw, Niagara, they would get a fortunate bounce, and it goes to a streaking Maeve Partlow, who goes in between 4 Bobcats defenders and beats Alden. Niagara gets their revenge for the last year's loss at Quinnipiac, and the Purple Eagles spoil the Bobcats MAC opener, winning 14-13. Despite the loss, Shannon Alden made 11 stops, and the Bobcats look to bounce back as they take on Canisius on Wednesday. Switching to the softball field, the team opened up their home slate against Niagara. Quinnipiac looking for its first home opener win since 2023. Now into the third inning, after an RBI ground out in the first for Kenny DeMont, Sophia Marrero will put it over Mary Fogg's head, and that would bring in 2 runs of her own, and the Eagles get their first lead of this series. Into the fourth inning now, it's a 3-3 tie. Mary Fogg lines one into shallow left center to bring in 1. The throw will go to third. Fogg trying to get the second. She'll get in a rundown, allowing the run from second to score, and it gets her in to second base. To the 7th, the bottom of the 7th, Carmela Phelan will line it into second to end the game for the Bobcats. 7-6 victory for the Bobcats as they walk away with the first win.
Flipping over to the second game, it's the 4th inning now. Kennedy DeMott is at the plate with a runner on second. She will drive the ball to left center field for a 3-run home run, putting the Bobcats up 9-1 in the 4th inning. Now in the 5th, Niagara's Marrero stays hot at the plate and lines the ball into the center field gap to rally in 2 more runs for the Purple Eagles. The stand-up RBI double closes the deficit to only 6 runs as Niagara looks to avoid the mercy rule. In the bottom of the 5th now, and guess who? It's DeMott again, and she will send one over deep center, and over the fence it will go to seal the game at 13-4 after the mercy rule. Quinnipiac won both games, with Game 1 ending 7-6 and Game 2 in 13-4. Game 1 would see Kendall Shannon getting the win with a 2 RBI day from Mary Fogg, and Kennedy DeMott's 8 RBIs led the Bobcats to victory in Game 2. The Bobcats will now look to sweep Niagara in Game 3. The Bobcats' doubleheader success had much to do with one standout player. Softball beat reporter Olivia Gruber has more.
The Quinnipiac softball team swept the Niagara Purple Eagles in Saturday's doubleheader. Game 1 had a score of 7-6, and Game 2 was won 13-4 in 5 innings.
Kennedy DeMott was highly praised by her head coach after contributing 10 RBIs and hitting 2 home runs on the day.
Kenny's a dog. I mean, that girl will play with broken fingers, broken hands, and still have some of the best games you've ever seen. But, I mean, Kenny just works hard. She's one of the most selfless kids, one of the most accountable people. She is one of our captains. But, I mean, every time I look at Kenny, she'll be like, I got you right here. And 99% of the time she does got me, and she always steps up. So I'm not surprised, but I'm proud of her.
Noelle Reed also had high praise for Kennedy DeMott as she spoke on what she means to the team and since they've been teammates since 2024.
She's a great leader, someone who's going to pick us up all the time, both on the field and mentally, and it's really great to have her.
Kennedy DeMott has been a catcher since day one, and since arriving at Quinnipiac, she has always wanted to be in that position.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, I want that gear on. I feel that presence. I know that I want to be behind the plate just because that's who I am. I need to be that leader, and I hate sitting and just doing nothing. So I'm really honored that I get the gear at the end of the day, and starting both games and playing throughout both of them really feels good.
DeMott and the Bobcats will be back in action on Sunday at 11 a.m. as the team looks to complete the sweep against the Niagara Purple Eagles. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Olivia Gruber.
Thanks, Olivia. And the Bobcats did indeed sweep as they took the Sunday match 3-1. Despite Quinnipiac's 5 hits, sophomore Erin Bommery's 3 RBI home run took home the cake for the team and was the second home run of her career. Pitcher Shannon Kendall recorded her 9th win of the season and her 7th complete game. Quinnipiac looks to improve its current 8-1 record in a home doubleheader against Merrimack on Tuesday.
It's time for our final break of the night, but when we come back, the baseball team took on the Manhattan Jaspers in a 3-game series looking to find their footing in conference play. We'll see if they were able to find that footing.
And spring sports are looking hot already, so it's almost time for the top 5 plays of the week. Don't go anywhere, Bobcats. We'll be right back.
Do you enjoy Quinnipiac sports?
I just keep believing you're going to pick Paige Girardi over Carson Martin. I think
Floor
Carson
general,
Martin,
absolute glue guy on the court.
Then Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you.
'Twas the night of Bobcat Breakdown, and all through the suite, all the producers were running round, getting ready for Show of the Week.
I brought mittens because I think that half of this take is cold.
I think us Anthonys think alike because I had the exact same idea as you.
Tune in to Bobcat Breakdown every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. on Q30TV.com/watch.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong. Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Anybody want a package?
Don't worry, sure, baby.
I got you.
And you want to breathe.
He got into some sloppy situations.
Uncle Aaron's locked up for touching all those kiddos.
Here comes the boom. Boom!
Quinnipiac Tonight is Q30's premier sketch comedy show. Watch it live every other Thursday at 9:30 in the Piazza, or tune in online at Q30TV.com/watch.
Clap if you care.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The MAC Women's Outdoor Track and Field preseason coaches poll has been announced. The Bobcats are already looking hot and are slated in first with 140 points and 9 first-place votes. Not too far behind is in-state rival Sacred Heart, in second with 131 points and 2 first-place votes. Ryder sits third with 117 points and 1 first-place vote. The Bobcats will look to sweep the spring season after winning the cross-country championship in the fall and the indoor championship during the winter.
Switching to the turf diamond on Tuesday, the baseball team took on Yale for the Battle of Whitney Avenue. The Bobcats pitching staff started slow, allowing 9 runs through 3 innings. The 5th inning was all Bobcats, as they scored 11 runs, including a Braden Ramada 3-run homer. The Bobcats added 3 more runs in the 7th, and the pitching staff slammed the door from there. Josh LaJoy gets credited with the win, and the Bobcats run away, winning 15-9. Following the midweek win, the team turned its focus back to MAC play, heading down to Pomona, New York. Game 1 on Friday was a back and forth matchup with 3 lead changes. James Marino hit a 3-run homer in the 7th inning to take a 5-4 lead. The Jaspers responded right away with an Andreas Lewis single that brought 2 runs in, securing the 6-5 win. Connor Thornberry pitched 6 2/3 innings for Manhattan, only allowing 2 earned runs.
After the loss on Friday, Quinnipiac looked for a comeback against Manhattan. However, the Bobcats' offense was not enough to shake the Jaspers' pitching staff. Best at the plate was Caden Williamson, picking up 2 of the 4 Bobcat hits, with Jack Balser scoring Christian Smith in the 2nd. The Jaspers took the 2nd of the 3 games 2-1 over the Bobcats.
But the team was looking to slip away with 1 game and avoid getting swept in MAC play for the first time this season, and they did just that, recording 9 runs to get the bats going. A 5-run 4th inning pushed the Bobcats over the edge. Caden Williamson stayed hot, going 2 for 4, rounding the bases 3 times. Andrew Rubio was stellar on the mound, going 6 innings, only allowing 2 runs. Dropping the bats and grabbing the rackets, the women's tennis team opened MAC play, taking down Sacred Heart 6-1. In doubles, Quinnipiac picked up all 3 matches, including Willow Wren and Caitlin Flower, taking their match 6-3, while the duo of Vera Sicarina and Caroline Schulzen took down their opponents 6-2. In the singles, the Bobcats continued to dominate on the courts, including Isabella Baker recording her first MAC singles victory in her career.
Staying strong the following day, the Bobcats earned their 6th home win of the season against the New Haven Chargers with a score of 7-0. Junior Caitlin Flowers' successful 2-0 record on the day earned her 100th career win as a Bobcat. Within that, Willow Renton and Flowers' 8th doubles win of the season, and the Bobcats extended their win streak to 4 matches.
Switching to the men's team, they traveled to Philadelphia to take on UPenn, and they were dominated 5-0 for the team's 4th straight loss against Ivy League teams. Starting with doubles, Carlos Broncimo and Alessandro Siaka fell 6-0. Finn Burge and Elias Hoksha tried to keep the Bobcats in it to earn the doubles point, but fell 6-3. Looking at singles, every Bobcat lost in straight sets, with none of them reaching a 3rd set.
Moving into Sunday, Quinnipiac took on MAC foe Sacred Heart and played them to a close match. The Bobcats could not pull through for a win and fell to the Pioneers 4-3. Quinnipiac's doubles pairings were able to secure the doubles point, but in singles, only Carlos Broncimo and Elias Hoksha were able to secure singles points, and it was ultimately not enough. This was Quinnipiac's first MAC loss since April 16, 2024, where they lost to Fairfield.
Maddie, I don't know about you, but I don't believe in magic.
Well, Eli, I heard the baseball and softball teams had some magic in their bats this weekend.
Well, I guess we have to see what magic they had in store for us.
Play number 5, starting off with the fun on the West Coast. Anna Foley finds herself at the 3-point line and sinks it, paired with the Stanford foul. Bobcats lose 81-69.
Play 4, women's lacrosse versus Niagara, pressure in front of the net, and it's Shannon Alden with the clutch save, sending the game into double overtime. Stay put here for the next play.
Still against Niagara on the offense, it's the Bobcats with some movement and Emma Miller-Ayala stealing the deal, but it's not enough as the Bobcats lose 14-13 in double OT.
Play 2, onto the softball field, Quinnipiac wanting to put some numbers on the board, and Erin Bommery does just that with their 2nd career home run, driving in 3 runs. The Bobcats would go on to win.
Play 1 now, baseball at Manhattan. 2 Bobcats in the pond, and James Marino absolutely cranks this ball, leaving the Jaspers trailing by 1, but the Bobcats drop this game 6-5. Zimbardo with the crack of the bat, adding his 4th collegiate home run. Now, Eli, like we said earlier, men's ice hockey is heading to the NCAA tournament. What do you expect from the Bobcats?
Well, for the Bobcats, it's going to be a tough flight to South Dakota. The biggest thing for the Bobcats, they are off of 2 weeks of rest, but also Providence as well. 2 1 seeds in the regular season that both struggled in the playoffs. I think it'll be very interesting for this Bobcats team, and if they get to that next round, 2 tough teams in North Dakota and Merrimack, who's right off that Hockey East Championship. Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for tonight's show. Make sure to stay up to date on all things Quinnipiac sports on our X and Instagram accounts at Q30 Sports.
Thank you to all of the producers and crew working so very hard behind the scenes. For Eli Ehlers, I'm Maddie Kelley. Have a wonderful night, Bobcats.